Hello, this is Dr. Breeze Harper of the Sistah Vegan Project, and I just wanted to thank those of you who have registered for our first annual web conference, Embodied and Critical Perspectives on Veganism by Black Women and Allies. I am super psyched about this conference, and for those of you who do not know about it, this is the first academic conference focused on the lived perspectives of Black women who practice veganism and allies. So the allies part basically means that 100% of the speakers will not identify as Black, but those that identify as allies mean that they support the goals of the Sistah Vegan Project, which basically takes a critical race feminist perspective on veganism, food politics, animal liberation. That's primarily from the lived, embodied experiences of Black women. And the other goal is to really engage in a critical whiteness perspective of understanding, how food, how social justice, equality are affected by what I have coined in my dissertation work, neoliberal whiteness. So I'm very excited about the conference, and we have a great speaker lineup. So, if you haven't taken a look at the speaker lineup yet, please do. At the end of this video, you can click on the link that sends you to the official conference page. But to give you a little taste of what's going to go on, we've got two women that are going to talk about how to integrate yoga and veganism as a way to help young girls of African descent heal from the trauma of racism and sexism. I think that's an awesome idea. I think that a lot of us in America, regardless of our racial or ethnic identification, have been deeply hurt by systemic racism. But a lot of the new research in the past 10 years has really focused on how racism literally has affected the physical and mental health of people of color, especially Black people. Another speaker that I'm really excited to have is Claudia Sarato, and she's going to be looking at indigenous veganism, decolonial food politics, baby food, just kind of fusing all that together. And she does amazing work. She actually runs the blog Decolonial Food for Thought. So I'm really excited to have her share her knowledge and her wisdom. I'll be giving the keynote at the end of the conference, and I'll be asking the question, is decolonizing the body possible? And what are those limitations, especially if you're in the USA, in which we all, whether we like it or not, have to subscribe to this concept of neoliberalism, or I call it neoliberal whiteness. Even if you're even conscious of it, you're still so embedded in it. How is decolonizing our bodies even possible? Is it possible? So I kind of talk about that, and I want to bring in particular Afrocentric approaches that have tackled this idea of decolonizing the body and really looking at what this particular rhetoric has given to the collectivity of people of color in this country, but also looking at does this rhetoric question things like neoliberalism? Does it maintain concepts such as heteronormativity is okay? So that's what I want to look at. Really appreciate the philosophies, but also go beyond and how it's been particularly confined by things like neoliberalism and things like heteronormativity, and a lot of the rhetoric, as much as I appreciate it, it does assume that you have a socioeconomic class to access particular foods and health resources. So I'm super psyched about this web conference. If you want to learn more, click on that link. So that's about it. So far the conference happens in 2 weeks. So September 14th, 2013, and I've only gotten 16% of the possible slots filled. So getting a little nervous here, and we put a lot of effort into this. I'm really hoping you're kind of like me and you wait till the last minute to register or do something like this. I do ask for a fee. It's $45, but just click on the link and you'll see what that gets you and why I do request a registration fee. Remember, it's a web conference, so if you have access to the internet, you can basically dial in from anywhere in the world and listen to it. If you cannot participate in the live stream that day, don't worry. You can download everything 48 hours after the event for a very reduced price. Okay? That's it. Post comments or send me a private email at breezeharper@gmail.com if you have any questions. And I look forward to just hearing from you, and I look forward to your participation in this awesome web conference that's coming up in 2 weeks.